Good morning. We are live, and I do apologize for being 5 minutes late. We had a bit of breaking news that came out this morning, and I wanted to read up on it before we went live because it's something that I haven't covered, intentionally haven't covered. But yeah, let's dig right into it, and I'll explain myself. Good morning, everybody. I hope your morning's going as good as mine. We got a little bit of breaking news. I have not talked about this. I've refused to talk about this, but it's over. So let's just get it out of the way. Uh, the whole Sean P. Diddy Combs trial thingy is over. It's over. He was acquitted on every major charge. He was only convicted on 2 charges, and that's prostitution, transportation. Transportating. God, where did that come from? Transporting people for the purposes of prostitution is what he was arrested on. The reason I haven't really talked about it is, well, it's tabloid bullshit, and 2, the case was always dog shit. It just was. It was. I won't say it was prosecutorial malfeasance, but it's close. I mean, it's close. It was a dog shit case. It really was. They didn't put on a defense. They didn't, and I knew it was going to be an uphill fight for the prosecution, anyways, because Sean Combs was smart enough to hire a really freaking good attorney. But no, this that was a dog shit case. It really was. His attorney, by the way, if you didn't know, was Mark Agnifilo. If you are any kind of longtime follower, man, the name Agnifilo will stick out in your mind because, yeah, that is Mark and Karen Agnifilo. It's Karen Agnifilo's husband was Sean Combs' attorney. No smoke towards them, folks. Everybody gets an attorney in this country. Everybody gets an attorney. Well, unless you're an immigrant, and then apparently that's not the case anymore. But that's over. That's over. I mean, it really, all I'm going to say about this is they went after him for racketeering. They went after him for sex trafficking. They went after him with just so many. Yes, Karen Agnifilo is representing Luigi Mangione. Both stellar attorneys, both of them. They went after him with such ridiculous charges that I just wouldn't cover it. I just wouldn't. I didn't, if you're a long time, we haven't talked about this at all. I was kind of horrified at what the government did there. Is it salacious? Yeah. Is he a shitty human being? Yeah. You've all seen the video of him beating the shit out of his girlfriend. I mean, literally just taking her to the freaking ground, man. All of it is just gross and ugly all the way around. There were no good guys in this situation. There was no argument to be made or conversation to be had. I mean, it is what it is, and it's over. Thank God. Amy Poe, love my podheads. Thanks for all you do, Mr. and Mrs. No, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show. Randy Oliver, foundational member of the show, always here with support. Been clearing my head for a few days. Now back to charge my batteries. Thanks, Texas Paul. Hey, I'm glad you're here, Randy. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're always here. Even, everybody takes a day off or two, but I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about the big story today. Let's talk about this whole Alligator Auschwitz thing. But before you do, the way we do things here is we don't just, oh, look, this happened, this and that. We want to know why. We want to know the background. We want to frame it. We want to understand. And I have to tell you, folks, this isn't just immoral. This isn't just cruel. It is stupid. It is one of the stupidest things I have seen almost ever. And it's flagrantly taking government funds, pumping them into private companies just so that they can make contributions. And they don't care that they are grinding human beings in the mill to do it. There is a reason, folks. Chris R, transportating for the win. Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. Like I want to be transporting an abandoned cat to my house that is taking residence in the community pool. Do it, man. You got to take care of them fur babies. Do it. But look, let's just start at the beginning. This is the governor of the state of Texas, Greg Abbott. And Greg Abbott didn't just tell the people of Texas. He didn't just tell the people of the country. He told the world. This is a picture of him in going to Downing Street, that he was just incapable of being governor of a border state. If you are wanting to be the governor of the state of Texas, let me be clear about something. Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, these are all border states that are our southern border. If you want to be a governor of any one of those states, one of the issues that you will deal with is immigration. It is what it is. Nebraska, not so much. Small fraction. But if you are on a border state, you are going to deal with border issues. And I'll give you an example to take it away from being a southern border issue. Our northern border states have a really interesting situation that they have to deal with our Canadian brothers and sisters. But it's not coming this way. It's actually going the other way. And what I'm talking about is cigarettes. Cigarettes are prohibitively expensive in Canada. They are just taxed to the gills. They are hugely expensive. And anytime you take a product, I'm against prohibitions. I am. I just think they're dumb. Historically, they've proven to be dumb. But anytime you take a product like cigarettes that people want. I'm not a smoker, by the way. I despise it. Both my parents were 3 to 4 pack a day smokers, and I think it's one of the grossest habits in the world. But that's my upbringing talking. Never been a smoker myself. Don't know how that happened, but it happened. But Canada has a real interesting issue with people coming to the United States, buying massive amounts of cigarettes, and then smuggling is no other word, but smuggling them into Canada. So if you're a northern state governor, you have a law enforcement issue on your hands. It just is what it is. So if you run for governor, you can't run for governor and say, I don't want to be a law enforcement governor. I don't want to. It's hard. It's hard. You can't do that. It's the fucking job. It's the job. On the southern border, it's immigration. It's part of the damn job. Literally in the job description, man. But Governor Abbott went all around the world whining and crying and having hissy fits that it was just hard and he can't do it. He don't want to do it. You all have to see what I deal with. You have to deal with this. This is terrible. Jeremy Breeden, thanks for being here. I think all about their and their supporters' bigotry. If you are cheering for Alligator, it is not Alligator Alcatraz. You are a bigot. It's Alligator Auschwitz. And I will tell you why. Let me jump to that portion of the show since you brought it up. This is Alcatraz. This is Alcatraz. This is Alcatraz. And the reason you cannot call it Alligator Alcatraz, which is what they want to do, and they're actually selling merch. They're fundraising on calling it Alligator Alcatraz. And the reason you cannot call it Alligator Alcatraz is every last person that was sent to this island was a criminal. And they were given due process. Every last person sent to Alcatraz was a criminal and given due process. That is not the case with Alligator Auschwitz. That is not the case. But back to what we were talking about. I thank you for the point, though. Thank you for the point. I refuse to use their terminology. It is Alligator Auschwitz. George Allen, Texas Paul, you're no grifter. I love these coffee cups. They're amazing. They're good cups, aren't they, man? I love these. You could beat somebody half to death with one of these things. I tell you what, I love these cups. Anyway, that was a terrible thing to say, wasn't it? I mean, God, dog, where did that come from? Oh, my God. But no, and when I say Greg Abbott whined and bitched and moaned and did everything, he did. On a national scale. Spent over $150 million. This is an older article. This is from February of last year. He spent over $150 million bussing immigrants all over the country and running to any camera he could find just to whine about the fact that he couldn't deal with the immigration situation. And then they did the stupidest things in the world. That is hilarious. That is freaking hilarious. Tara from me, self-defense bug. Oh my God, that is hilarious. That is funny. Don't be funny right now. This is serious. This is serious. But they did the stupidest things in the world. You know, every Republican government fails. They just do. They fail because, well, Republicans are immoral. Their worldviews are horrible. And they're lazy and they're incompetent. They just are. Bruce Davis, Texas Paul, I'm on Medicaid and SNAP. I'm scared. You should be, sir. I wish I could tell you don't worry, but you should be. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but there's no way for us to stop what's happening. Michael Denome, why has the Dow been surging lately? Oligarchs knowing their tax cut is coming. Wall Street's been detached from reality for a very long time. It just has. It just has. There used to be norms when things would happen with the economy or whatever that the market would follow. That's over with. It's completely and utterly detached from reality. I'll give you an example. Tesla shares are still over 300 a share. And that company's done. It has the most toxic brand out there, but there are still people saying this is valuable. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. But anyways, back to the subject we're talking about. Abbott went out and spent about $20 billion after whining and bitching that this was bankrupting us. It's making us poor. It's taking all our resources. They went out and spent $20 billion on this boondoggle called Operation Lone Star, which was an utter and complete failure. And then they did things like this. They didn't build a wall. Yeah, this article is from June 17th, 2025. Gotta love the Texas Tribune. Fantastic reporting. They will, and don't call them partisan. They will take Democrats to the woodshed just like Republicans, but they are coming with the facts, man. Yeah, they only built about 8% of the wall, and then they decided, well, this is taking a lot of money and not doing anything, and so they've just stopped. They've just stopped. They're trying to quietly pretend like, well, we did it, we finished it. It's kind of like Trump, got to claim that that he's done something. Let me tell you how bad this is. We went down to Eagle Pass, and I did a live from the border down there where I showed people just how ridiculously stupid this was. I literally went across the border to Mexico, turned the camera back to the United States to show people nothing. They'd taken over a park down there. There was law enforcement sitting in air-conditioned tents. There were kids playing in the river. They'd put fencing up where the press would come. So I went back across to our side of the border after showing that I saw nothing illegally cross the border my entire time there, but a duck. A Mexican duck swam from the southern side to our side of the border, damn it. And I caught it on camera. It was ridiculous how much money they wasted. Fat, stupid cops sitting and I literally took pictures of them. They were fat and stupid, sitting in air-conditioned tents, doing fucking nothing. They would launch a boat every once in a while and drive around in this one section of the river. By the way, the Rio Grande is not a river. I mean, you cannot launch. It's not the Mississippi. You can't launch a boat in it and go down the, no, there's only little sections. So they would drive in this one little section back and forth where it was deep enough to actually operate a boat. And then if you go like 50 yards farther, you could walk across, literally walk across. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I came back across the border. There's a highway that runs parallel to the border. I got on it and I drove 2 minutes and I saw this nice neighborhood. So I said, I wonder what it looks like there. Drove back through the neighborhood all the way to the back of the neighborhood. I'm talking nice houses, man, like Johnny Gotrock's houses. This is where the rich folks live, And I got to the river and there was a lot there where the house hadn't been built yet. I mean, there's, $500,000, $500,000 house, $500,000 and we're talking in an area where you can, for $750,000, you can buy like a $2 million house. I mean, this is not, there's a reason people move to Texas. It's cheap. The real estate comparatively is cheap. So, I mean, I'm trying to paint you the picture. These are nice freaking houses. These are people of influence. So I walk across this lot to the river. What's not there is a border wall. I mean, do you think for 1 second Johnny Gotrocks is going to let Greg Abbott build this ugly fucking wall restricting their access to the riverfront property that they just bought? Oh, hell no. Hell no. So I shot some video there of me standing there and I turned the video this, that, and the other, and you can literally see the bridge. I mean, I am within sight of the same bridge where I shot all the footage from Mexico, where you come across the border and there's a park right there. And I'm literally within sight of it. No wall. I mean, I hope to God that the immigrants never figured out to walk a few hundred yards. It was the biggest boondoggle waste of money. That's what Republicans did. That's what they did. And it wasn't just Abbott. It wasn't just Abbott. Michael Walk, how giddy Trump sounded talking about people getting torn apart by alligators. I know, it's disgusting. Well, I've been shown the man is a damn sadist and has sadistic tendencies, but he's an idiot to think it will work. Wait for it, man. It gets even better. It gets even better. I mean, it's the stupidest thing on the face of the planet. It is. It's just Idiot. Y'all remember Ron Booger DeSantis, right? Ron Booger DeSantis. Here he is. I think this is from Midas Touch, by the way, folks. Shout out to Midas Touch. This is from their article from their website. This was the second or the third video that we had that caught Ron DeSantis wiping boogers and then smearing them on one of his supporters. But y'all remember Ron Booger DeSantis and the fact that, immigration was going to be it for him, man. It was going to be the big deal. Woo, man, we can't let old Abbott have all that. I mean, God's sake, man, we got to get on that immigration train. Got to sell it. And old Ron DeSantis chartered flights and flew people from Texas, not Florida, to Martha's Vineyard, not Florida. Yeah, I mean, they had all kinds of money to spend on these stunts and this stupidity, and I want to tell you, the whole time they're crying poor mouth. Oh, this is bankrupting us. This is terrible. This is awful. We got to do this. They're dangerous criminals. So let me just send them somewhere else in America. I mean, it's not like we were elected on in a border state. I mean, it wasn't like, so anyway, yeah, he takes immigrants and flies them to Martha's Vineyard. Now, Martha's Vineyard is not a border state. In a border state. It's not in a border state. And it's not really designed, as you can imagine, because we talked about like the issues with northern border states. It's different. The northern border states have different issues that they deal with. Those states that are not on the border don't deal with those issues either. So Martha's Vineyard really had no facilities. They were unprepared for this, which is why Abbott did it. I mean, he wanted to cause a spectacle in a city, in a town that really doesn't deal with this issue, because they wanted the spectacle. I mean, they had all the money in the world for that. But, people are going to be who they are. People are just going to be who they are. MAGA, if you ever get together, and if you live in a red area, you know what I'm talking about, and you can vouch for what I'm saying here. You back me up in the chat if I'm right about this. Call me out if I'm wrong. But if you live in a red area and you have a lot of MAGA, and you get together and you start drinking beers or having a barbecue or go to dinner, MAGA people bitch. That's what they do. They whine. They whine about everything. That's what they talk about. I mean, we Democrats will get together. We'll talk about hunting. We'll talk about sports. We'll talk about this. And no, that's not what MAGA does. MAGA, they bitch. They whine. They cry. They, will sit there and tell you that they're the greatest, smartest person in the world, all while telling you they're also a loser that's failing because of somebody else. Somebody's holding them back, man. It's really amazing to watch these conversations happen. It is. That's who they are. And if you've never experienced it, I know it's kind of difficult to believe, but really look at the people in chat. They will tell you, yes, yeah, that hammer, nail, boom, got it. That is exactly who they are. Now, Democrats, not so much. We get a problem. We go to work. It's what we do. And when Ron DeSantis mailed people, stuck them on a plane and sent them to Martha's Vineyard, people in Martha's Vineyard, how do you think they reacted? People are going to do what people do, man. You are what you are. E.T. Booger Ron Sanctimonious is trying to get back into the Mad King's good graces for a possible run in 20. Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, yeah, he is. Stop coddling stupid. Thanks for always being here, man. Definition of fragile masculinity. Absolutely. Absolutely. Joan Prim, you know what MAGA stands for? Make America morons again. Yeah. They are not bright people. They're whiners. They are. Well, the people of Martha's Vineyard are just good and decent people. So they did what they do. They welcomed these people. They just welcomed them. These people settled in. Hey, you know what? Martha's Vineyard, we're fucking old, man. Yeah, we got money because we're at the end of our lives and we've saved enough money to buy a house in Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, but we're old. These people are young and we need labor. Hey, shit, this works, man. This works. All we got to do is get these people settled. And that's what they did. That's what they did. And it happened over and over and over again. Everywhere they shipped migrants, the people that were there acted like the people they are. Happened in New York City. They created a mess in New York City. Oh, forgive me for gulping. I'm sorry. They created a mess in New York City because, these Republicans, they can't govern. They can't do things in any organized fashion. They're going to fail. They're just going to fail. So what did they do? They just sent a bunch of people to New York City. They sent a bunch of people to DC. They sent a bunch of people to LA without any coordination or anything like that, just trying to create a spectacle, just trying to cause people pain. The migrants, Democrats, everybody, and it didn't work. The ones they sent to LA, the LA community is like, my brothers and sisters, welcome. And the Democrats said, look, they can't do their job. They can't. So they're going to ship their job on us. Okay. It is what it is. We're going to do the work. Vince, thanks for being here, man. Vince and Day, thanks for always being here to support the show. Amy Manuel, the immigrants are coming. The immigrants are coming. No kidding, right? Deborah Emery, thank you for being here. Appreciate you supporting the show. So the people that were there did what the people would do. They're not MAGA. They're not Republican failures. They just rolled their sleeves up and went to work. And the immigrants did what the immigrants do. They went to work, started living their lives, became engines of the economy. That's it. That's the story, right? That's where the story ends. Southern governor fails because he's a Republican and he was destined to fail. Shifts his problem on somebody else in a chaotic way. The people that are in those areas are Democrats, so they say, okay, problem. What do we do? Roll up the sleeves, fix it. Let's go to work. These are people. And everybody benefits. Even down here in Texas, we benefited because, the failure didn't have to deal with the problem. He just shifted it off. So what did the Democrats do? What Abbott should have done in the first place. They went to the federal government and they said, hey, we're not really border states here. LA, they're used to it. We're not really border states here, but we've got to set up some infrastructure. We got to get these people settled. They don't want to do it, so we're going to set it up. Can you help us out? And the Democrats in Congress, with a handful of Republicans, said, sure. Yeah. Problem? Let's fix it. And they created the FEMA Shelter and Services Program. Now, the whole point of the FEMA Shelter and Services Program was to deal with this. There's a problem. It's an unforeseen problem. These governing institutions have to deal with it, and they sent a lot of this money down here to Texas. See, that's the part that Abbott never gets around to telling anybody. They got a lot of money for this. They did. And what it was for is really simple. Okay, look, you have people that are coming across the border, that are asylum seekers, that are here. It costs money to get these people settled. We will write you checks to help you do that. Makes sense, right? They're coming here. We're benefiting from their labor. They're human beings. Makes sense, right? I mean, none of this is confusing at all, right? I mean, none of this is, it's pretty straight line. Democrats went to work, said, okay, that's what we're going to do. Created an entire institution. Here's a paragraph from that congressional release. Congress has recognized that local governments and nonprofit organizations often bear the financial and social burden resulting from an influx of migrants. In fiscal year 2019, Congress first enacted legislation authorizing the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to provide grants to supplement the humanitarian relief efforts of local government and nonprofit organizations assisting migrants encountered by DHS at the southern border, including through the provision of food, shelter, basic Medicare, and transportation. These grants to support migrants were provided through FEMA's Emergency Food and Shelter Program. Now, that's important. EFS, the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. Humanitarian or EFSPH. In fiscal year 2023, Congress directed Customs and Border Patrol and FEMA to establish a new shelter and service program to replace the EFSPH. The EFSPH, say that fast 5 times, continued to operate while FEMA and the CBP worked to establish the new SSP. FEMA and Customs and Border Patrol have stated that the plan is to phase out EFSPH. DHS FEMA made the first tranche of SSP funding available in June 2023 and made the second tranche of SSP funding available in August 2023. So you follow me here. They reacted quickly to government whiny butt. They sent funding down there to help get these people settled. And then they said, okay, look, these people are coming through CBP. Let's just create a whole system, get it in place so that these people, you understand the purpose of this, right? It is to get these migrants settled with as little problem as possible. That goes a long way to solving the problem, right? Now, if the Republicans had just let us modernize CBP, it would be even better. It would be even better, right? I mean, we could do the vetting and more, it would be even more efficient. Just solving problems, right? Well, this is where it gets just dumb as dog shit. Just stupid as frickin' can be. Just as moronic and idiotic as can be. I mean, it's pretty straightforward so far. Immigrants come, Republicans fail, push issue off on Democrats, Democrats do the work, roll up their sleeves, get the funding, get these people settled. They're using the old immigration system that needs to be modernized, but the Republicans won't let us do that because they don't really want immigration. They don't really want to solve the problem. They want to run on the problem and be the problem. But Democrats are just getting it done, right? So what do you think would happen next? These people are settled, they're flourishing. Again, everybody's just doing what everybody does. Democrats are governing, Republicans are whining, immigrants are working, but contributing to our country. Democrats are extremely pleased because, like up in Martha's Vineyard, they're like, hey, these people work hard and they don't commit crime. Like when we have to bring in labor, American labor, those people commit crimes at much higher rates than these people. Yeah, I'm liking this. We're happy. Everybody's just too happy. So, let me just show you. If you're a Republican and you just whined and moaned that you got these immigrants and you sent them off to other places, and then you got funding to help you do that, what would you do next? Well, if you're a Republican, you go get them back. Because ICE is overwhelmingly arresting immigrants in the same cities that they bust immigrants to. This is LA. This is New York. And overwhelmingly, these are not criminals. They're just people. They're arresting these people at immigration court. I'm not laughing. I'm wanting to cry. They're arresting these people at immigration court. And I want to say it again. They're doing it primarily in the same cities they bust these people to. These cities met these people. They got them settled. They're working. Everybody was happy. And the Republicans can't have that. Are you following me here? Are you following how stupid this is? They took the immigrants. They whined and bitched that they couldn't handle the situation, so they sent as many as possible to sanctuary cities and blue cities like Chicago, like New York, now they're sending ICE to get them back. And I'm not kidding about get them back. They just built Alligator Auschwitz. And this is why the people are calling it Alligator Auschwitz. One, because it's not Alcatraz. Alcatraz, everybody that went to Alcatraz was a criminal and had due process. They went through the courts. They were adjudicated guilty. They were declared a criminal, and then they were sent to Alcatraz. That is not what's happening here. What's happening here is the same thing that happened at Auschwitz. They're just rounding people up. They're literally going to court to arrest people that are doing what they're supposed to be doing to stay right with their immigration. And this is why I will not call it Alligator Alcatraz. It is Alligator Auschwitz. And it's the dumbest thing I have ever heard. Because follow me here. Again, they ship the immigrants out to all the blue cities. Everything's going great. Blue economies are doing great. They're doing great. Well, we can't have that. We got to fuck that up. How do you fuck that up? Well, let's take their labor away. But wait a minute. We sent them the labor. We didn't want those people here. We sent them there. Well, I know, but we'll go here in the middle of nowhere. Go to the map. This is the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport. This is where they built Alligator Alcatraz. So they're getting all of these immigrants and they're bringing them, wait for it, back to Florida. In the middle of nowhere. This is dumb. It's dangerous. It's inhumane. There's a reason. You see this? This is Miami-Dade. The reason is here is the coast. This is the Everglades. The reason there's nothing here is it's inhospitable, dangerous, and shitty. And when I say there's nothing here, I mean, let's zoom in, folks. There's nothing here for a reason. I mean, there's one little Indian community here. That's it. That's the whole community right there. Look at that. That's it. The rest of it's airboat tours, Tiger Tail Airboat Tours, free plug for you. Temporary close. Oh, well. Miami Everglades Airboat Tours, free plug. This is all water, folks. I mean, it literally dangerous, stupid, and inhumane. Then when they did it, and this is where it gets to be even more disgusting and stupid. When they did this, they built this. Do you know where they funded it from? Has anybody in the corporate media told you where they funded it from? Where did they get the money to build this camp? And it's going to cost $500 million a year to run. I love you people for being so informed. I love you people for being so informed. They took the money from FEMA. The same program that Congress created for the purpose of settling immigrants and helping local governments is the same program they built this fucking concentration camp with. They took the money out of it to build a concentration camp. They wanted to ship these immigrants out across the country so people can see how tough it is, how bad it is. And then everybody around the country said, oh, good people, thanks, appreciate it. Can you help us out with some funding, government? We need to settle these folks. Oh, okay, thanks, appreciate it. Got these people settled. Everything's going good. Fucking bigots can't have that. No, cannot have that. Glenn Kaneko, thanks for being here. ICE is not vetting and getting criminals. They're going after easy catches of the law-abiding immigrants. It's too difficult to catch the real hardcore criminals. Amen. Amen. This is the laziest, stupidest, red meat, feed the bigots bullshit. And again, it just blows my mind that the corporate media isn't telling you. You know who's crying like gut-shot hogs right now? Oklahoma and Kentucky. Why? They just got decimated with tornadoes. Who would normally deal with that? FEMA. Who's not showing up? FEMA. North Carolina had about $60 billion in damage. Got about $6 billion in aid. And then, you know who's not there? FEMA. But they took money from FEMA's budget to build a fucking concentration camp in the middle of a swamp with that money. Thanks for being here. It's me. I appreciate it. And I don't understand why the corporate media is not just explaining that simple fact. You sent these immigrants all across the country. They were settled. They're integrating into our society. They're working. They're living the American dream. So you're going to go get them back? I thought it was too much of a problem for you. I thought you didn't want to have to do this kind of stuff. George Allen, the Mamdani race is turning ugly. These midterms next year are so critical, Texas Paul. We don't need to fracture, no fracturing this coming year. Yeah, I agree with you. But the problem is that all of the anti-Mamdani stuff is fake astroturf. That's created by the right-wing media and right-wingers and bots on the internet that are claiming everybody hates Mamdani and is upset by Mamdani. I talk to Democrats and nobody's upset by it. Cantissa Hood, this was the plan all along. Miller's wet dream. Yeah, I mean, just the asinine, and I'll say it one more time because it just fucking blows my mind. You couldn't handle the situation. It was horrible. These people are brown and they've got to go. We can't have any more brown people here. We're going to ship them all away because you can't expect us to build facilities and deal with the situation. And then they send them all away and then build facilities and go arrest them and bring them back to their fucking state. Insanity and stupidity. This is why Republicans fail. This is why our government fails every time Republicans control the government. Every time. They're stupid. Incredibly stupid. They're immoral. They are horrible, repugnant people. And they only live to serve the oligarchs, the wealthy, the people that write them checks, that pay for their private clubs and their steak budgets. Republicans, Steve Scalise had a $500,000 steak budget. That shit ain't free. That shit ain't free. So a $500 million a year boondoggle in the middle of the fucking Everglades. And who's getting paid? Great article. It is behind a paywall, but I recommend it's from the Rolling Stone. Google this, read on it. Yeah, it's what I told you, folks. Before he was elected, when everybody's like, do you think they'll have mass deportations? No, I don't. They'll deport as many as they can, but they're not really competent people. So what they're going to do is they're going to shift a bunch of money out of our immigration system and out of, I didn't see having the balls to just mug FEMA. I'll be honest with you. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see the balls just to out and out mug FEMA. But they did. And they're taking that government money and they're doing exactly what I told you. Go back. This is exactly what I told you they would do. They're taking this money and they are giving it to their donors. The people that write them checks. They're like, Paul, why would they do that? Why would they do that? Because Customs and Border Patrol cannot write a donation check. It's illegal. A federal prison cannot write a donation check. It's illegal. But if you let a private company build you a detention center and run that detention center, they can write you checks all day long. And what do you care if you're just fucking over brown people? Because you don't have morals anyways. You don't have morals anyway. What do you care? You don't give a shit. Look at what Lisa Murkowski did with this big, ugly bill. Her tipping point was, okay, we won't do to Alaska what we're going to do to the all 49 other states. Okay, I'm good with that. Yeah, fuck everybody else, but I'll be good. That is who Republicans are. That is who they are. And they're doing it right in your face, folks. It's just open bribery right in your face. And they're doing it in the most indisputably corrupt way. All of these people that you said that you could not handle living in your state, that you could not build facilities for, that you could not do anything with, this, that, and the other, you're going to hand private corporations contracts to fucking build concentration camps. You're not going to get any contribution from them. You're not going to get any taxes from them. You're not going to get any labor from them. They're not going to contribute to your society at all. They're going to be a complete and utter burden and cost because you're building a fucking concentration camp. But you can get a donation. This is why governments under Democrats flourish. This is why the country under Democrats flourishes. We see a problem, somebody hands us lemons, we make lemonade. Sweet, sweet, delicious ass lemonade. The Democrat answer, okay, get these people settled, have them start contributing to society. Live that American dream. And the American dream is, hey, get a job and make Johnny Got Rocks rich. That's the American dream. That's what they were doing. Republicans, oh no, let's find a way to make this as expensive and useless as possible. And you wonder why Republicans always fail. It's just incredible. Hold on. My throat's dry. I need a drink. And they're corrupt. They're just corrupt. If you haven't seen what's going on, I mean, this is, well, look, this just happened. This just happened. In the most absurd, weird, bizarre lawsuit ever that no person with a law degree understands why it was filed, why the judge allowed it to be filed, why it was allowed to proceed, and why the hell Paramount settled it, because this was such an easy win. Paramount settles Trump's 60-minute lawsuit and pays out $16 million to his library. But they didn't issue an apology. And they're saying it's not a bribe because they didn't give it to him. They didn't give it to him directly. No, they gave it to his library. Well, we talked about the library foundations. You know, that plane that we're now paying hundreds of millions of dollars to refurbish, the Flying Sky Palace, that's going to go to his library, which means it's going to go to Trump. It's kind of like rich people, they set up trusts and claim they don't own anything. That, oh no, the trust owns it. I don't own this house that I live in and that my children will live in and their children will live in, because if I owned it, I would pay taxes on it. Oh no, the trust owns it. So yeah, this $16 million bribe is going to go to his library trust, which I'm absolutely sure Trump is in no way going to benefit from. It's going to be a library, a Trump library. Yeah. What is this really about? Well, this is what this is really about. You folks have probably seen this in a movie at some point. Skydance. Skydance is either co-producing, partially owns, or is involved in the production of some really, really popular movie franchises. I'm sure you've seen this before, leading into a movie. Skydance is involved with things like the Transformers. Skydance was involved with the mega hit World War Z. Good movie, by the way. It's one of those movies I go back and watch every couple of years. Skydance is one of the major producers of the Mission Impossible series. They're also involved in co-producing many of the Star Trek movies. Are you starting to see the dollar signs? Are you starting to see the dollar signs, right? Skydance is valuable. And Skydance right now is in the process of being purchased by Paramount. The same people that just paid $16 million to Trump for a lawsuit. Nobody understood. Nobody understood how this was allowed to go forward. How was this possible? This is the stupidest thing ever. Paramount will destroy this in court. It's nothing. It's nothing. But they just wrote a $16 million check. And this is what everybody is saying. Why? Corporate priorities trump journalistic principles. Paramount has been trying for months to complete a lucrative merger with Skydance Media. And the deal requires approval from the Trump administration, in part because CBS owns local television stations that are licensed by the government. This will require FCC approval. You tell me, is that a bribe? I'm asking you, is that not a bribe? You just settled a lawsuit. No one understands why it was brought. The sheer stupidity of it. Trump sued 60 Minutes because he thought they were too nice to Kamala Harris. That was the lawsuit. They're doing it in plain sight, folks. Immigration is terrible. It's too expensive. It's bankrupting our state. So let me build a concentration camp here and bring all these people back that we shipped out. While I write checks to my campaign donors to provide tents and air conditioners at Alligator Alcatraz. And there's not just happening here. They're building him here in Texas, like down in Conroe, and it's not just Florida. They're going to pump this money into red states to keep the red states from suffering as badly, while they go after blue states and try to disrupt their economies. I mean, it's flagrant. It's just out in the open, flagrant what they're doing. And the corporate media is just lost. They're just lost. These are the kind of things that big media are talking about. Trump keeps derailing White House meetings to call his friends. Is it an issue? Yeah, it is. Anybody surprised at all that Trump can't sit through a meeting, that he doesn't have the attention span to actually take care of business? Trump doesn't run this government. Trump doesn't run this government. It's all the people around it. It's the Secretary of Sadism, Stephen Miller. People like that are running this government. Trump can't even make it through a meeting. He is literally picking up the phone in the middle of White House meetings and calling people. And it's usually things like, oh, Fox is giving me bad coverage today. And then he calls Rupert Murdoch. Rupert, why are you allowing Fox to be so mean to me today? I thought we were friends. Literally asked Rupert Murdoch in a White House meeting what he thought about us bombing Israel. The Atlantic did an interview. And Trump was taking phone calls from them from unknown numbers. I mean, let that sink in for a minute. Both reporters reported that, Trump just gave us the president's phone number to call him directly on his personal cell phone. Did I say bombing Israel? I meant to say bombing Iran. Thank you, folks, for catching that. When I trip over my own tongue, thank you for catching it. But yeah, I mean, he's talking to Rupert Murdoch, of all people, about what do you think the coverage will be if I bomb Iran? Think that'll be some good coverage? Fuck. Then he's handing out his personal cell phone number to reporters who are able to call him directly. No screening, no nothing. You know what kind of a security problem that is? I mean, Signalgate was bad, but even that was a kind of half-assed encrypted app. This is just dumbass walking around talking about, I don't know, bombing people on a cell phone that is no more secure than this one. Talking about classified operations with people that have no business talking about it. So yeah, I guess it's an issue. But don't you think the American people should know that Alligator Auschwitz, what they're calling Alligator Alcatraz, is literally them bringing the people back that they said that they couldn't handle in the first place? I mean, that doesn't seem like a deep concept. That doesn't seem. It lays bare the idiocy of all this and how hypocritical they've been. But the corporate media won't do that. But I mean, just it's mind-boggling to me, the shit they're talking about. I mean, why do you have to come sit with me to find out that our trade representatives halted a trade negotiation with Japan and started arguing with each other because Japan simply raised the question that, look, Scott Bessent, you said one thing on this issue. Howard Lutnick, you said another thing on this issue. And then Jameson Greer, you said something else. We kind of need to know what your position is because we can't negotiate. So they called a halt to the meeting and started yelling at each other in front of the Japanese trade negotiating team. Why do you have to sit down with my dumb hillbilly ass to know that this is what's going on? That Trump, while there are trade negotiations going on, as clownishly as they are, is also calling Japan and saying, will you please let our rice in? Will you please let our rice in, please? Yeah. I mean, just all on his own, out on the fucking blue, just picks up the phone in his unsecured fucking cell phone because one of the Texas senators probably reminded him that, yeah, almost all the American rice grown right here, right outside of Houston. Yeah, we got a bayou down there that we really good for growing rice. And Japan protects its agricultural markets. Um, their Japan's agriculture can't compete with our agriculture. It's like, our manufacturing trying to compete with China's manufacturing. It's two different animals. So Japan protects theirs and they limit the amount of rice that we'll get in. So while the trade negotiations going on, while it's clownishly, imbecilically stupid, Trump is making phone calls. Will you make a rice deal with me? Just let my rice in, please. Fuck. And nobody, I mean, I'm all over the corporate media trying to find this stuff. And none of the majors are talking about this. And of course, it's failing, right? It's failing. But is Trump allowing his team to just negotiate? No. Trump is walking around telling all his reporter friends that apparently have his private cell phone number, nah, it's going to fail. Trade negotiation with Japan's are going to fail. It's over. Yeah, we're just not going to get a deal. Don't know why. Can't imagine why. But yeah, Japan is playing hardball. So here we go again with the taco trade. Taco time again. And Japan's not blinking. They've seen it all before. Everybody's seen it before. Everybody's seen it before. I doubt the market will even react to this. It's just more clownish stupidity. That is so perfect, Metal Mark. Yeah, Taco Tuesday because he announced it on a Tuesday. That every damn time Republicans get in power, it's this clown show. It's this stupidity over and over and over and over again. They just passed that big ugly bill through the Senate. And again, I hate to be this guy, but I kept telling people it's going to pass. It's going to pass. It is. It's going to pass. And everybody's, it ain't over. You can't be negative like that. No, it's going to pass. Democrats are doing everything they can. They put on one hell of a fight. Chuck Schumer did everything he could to delay this. Amendments, forcing votes, having the worst of it peeled out, using the parliamentarian so that they couldn't get a lot of it's not going to be as bad as it was because the Democrats, man, they went down, but they went down swinging. Now it goes back to the House and everybody's saying the same thing. Oh man, the House is pissed. They hate this bill. They hate this bill. They ain't going to pass it. No, and they're quoting a couple dumbasses, outliers that are saying, 20 Republicans aren't going to vote for this. They're not going to vote for this. They're very upset. It's not a mean enough bill It doesn't have the Medicaid cuts in it. Oh no, they're going to vote for it. Oh yeah. They're going to do what the corporate media made them a deal to do. They're going to walk around like peacocks and ruffle their feathers every once in a while, and you're going to get some people that they're going to say some tough talk, like, I got to tell you, Susan Collins in the Senate was very concerned. She was very concerned. Lisa Murkowski, she was going to leave the party. Yeah, she was going to leave the party and become an independent. This bill is so bad. Oh, wait a minute. You're going to exempt Alaska? Oh, I'm good with it. Okay. What? Wait a minute. The parliamentarian said you couldn't exempt Alaska? Well, that's okay. I'll vote for it anyways. You'll give me that later, right? You'll give me that stuff later. Okay, deal. Good. This is who they are, folks. This is who they are. They've wanted to do this forever. They've wanted to gut your Medicaid forever. They've wanted to gut your Medicare forever. This bill causes $500 billion over the next 10 years in Medicare sequestration. So it's Medicare cuts without having to codify Medicare cuts into the bill. Johnny Got Rocks gets his massive tax cuts. It explodes our deficit even more, which we didn't have room for, folks. We are headed to, I'm telling you, in under 10 years, our federal budget becomes unworkable. It's under 10 years that happens. Our federal budget becomes completely unworkable. This just put rocket skates on that. And they don't care. And people keep saying, this is what blows my mind too. Pablo Owen, so who is the real enemy within? Sorry I was late. Folks, this is the part that just blows my mind. Every time I talk about this realistically and what we can realistically do about it, which about this bill, nothing. Democrats did. They went down swinging, but they can't defeat it. There's nothing we can do about this but sit here and fucking take it. We can protest, we can raise hell, we can boycott, we can do all those things. But as far as stopping the bill, nope. So the next thing that always comes, Spicy Jesters, thank you for the support, my friend. Trump is now selling a fragrance from the Oval Office. Oh, I know, man. I know. Not only, he's selling freaking perfume. The grifting from the criminal president is just unbelievable. For the low, low price of $249, you too can smell like an asshole. Buy Trump fragrance today. That's really happening. And get this. He's pretending to be mad at Elon, his sugar daddy. Remember, Elon now has to seem like he hates Trump because it's bankrupting him. Everything he's done is bankrupting his corporation. So now those two have to pretend to hate each other. Trump doesn't like EVs. Really, dude? Because 3 weeks ago, you had a fucking Tesla dealership on the White House lawn. But now you don't like EVs? Who the fuck is kidding who here? This whole Elon Trump bullshit act trying to keep Elon out of bankruptcy it's pro wrestling. It's bullshit. It is bullshit. Trying to put the shit back in the horse. Fuck Elon Musk. Rick Wilson nailed it with, these ex-Republicans. I'll tell you, I'd never trust anybody that is a Republican and can go back to look at Steve Schmidt, went right back into being a Republican as soon as the checks started showing up. But Rick Wilson nailed it with everything Trump touches dies. And Elon Musk is Mike Lindell 2.0. And there's no unfuckingness. There isn't. Elon is just screwed. His brand is screwed. Damn, I hope your coffee's as good as mine. Can y'all see the steam coming off of that? Mm. So yeah, there's nothing left to do. Nothing left to do except motivate our voters, turn people out, stop the bullshit divisions. I swear to God, yesterday, I get people that are like, oh, but they're not going to let us vote. Oh, bullshit. Yeah, they are. Absolutely, they are. They're gerrymandering the shit out of this next election. They're going to cheat like they always do, but we're going to vote because if we don't vote, we've got to kill each other. And they don't want that. They don't want that. Folks, that's why democracy was created, so that we don't have to be violent. They know that as well as we do. And everybody's like, oh, this bill just lets them end democracy. They don't want to end democracy, folks. They don't. Their oligarchs are getting everything they want with democracy. Yeah, they don't want to end democracy. All that is voter suppression talk on our side that they're not doing. There is no voter suppression talk on their side. They're turning themselves into pretzel knots, trying to explain away why they're taking it in the poop chute, and that's a good thing. Yeah, that is what is going on, folks. It's open, outright grifting season. It is hilariously comically ridiculous, lurching like alligator Auschwitz. Like that's going to be a good thing. They're going to fail and fail and fail and fail. And the big question that people keep coming to me about, oh, we're never going to be able to vote again, this, that, and the other is, well, why would they do this if they were going to let us vote? Because they're obviously going to get killed. Yeah. But what does it matter to them? Honestly, if you're a Republican, what does it matter if you lose in the midterm? You've already fired the employees. Forgive me. Someone let a fly in here. They've already fired the employees. You've already devastated much of our government. You've passed the tax cuts that Johnny Got Rocks wants. All you can do is fail. If you continue running the government as a Republican, the deportations fail. You own the broken ass economy you created. What's to lose? I mean, you have to understand, folks, what they've already done will pay for their donations for a decade or more. They'll get that dark money. Those billionaires will write those checks every damn year just to keep Republicans a pain in our ass. So no, it's not that we're not going to get to vote. It's not that we're not going to decimate them in the midterms. We are. It's just that there's no repercussions for them for it. They still get their stake money. They still get their travel money. The corporations still take them out to the elite lodge with the Michelin chef in the middle of Montana, so they can pretend to hunt. They can continue to take their trips, to Israel and go to the Temple Mount. because they can somehow just hear better on the Temple Mount. They don't lose anything. Once they get this bill passed, they've decimated Medicare, which they wanted to do. They've decimated Medicaid, which they've wanted to do. And they just hand us a giant, steaming, flaming bag of dog shit and say, here, run with it. And this fiscal crash that is coming our way in less than a decade, why not just dump that shit on us if you're a Republican and pretend like you had nothing to do with it? Oh, look at the Democrats run the Congress, and oh my God, we can't afford anything anymore. Look at what they did. Folks, yeah, we're going to vote. We are going to vote. But we're going to have to be really, really, really not stupid when we do. We're going to have to be very blunt with our people. We can't allow these people. Anthony Saints, thanks for being here, man. Big support. I appreciate you. Hey, Paul, can't they file a lawsuit against ICE and the DOJ for what they're going through? Not really. Not really. I mean, the way the laws are set up, I mean, it's why it's so hard to convict. You know, the cops always walk in almost every situation because the way the laws are set up are to protect the government and protect law enforcement and protect, you know, it's really hard. It's really hard to win one of those lawsuits. But look, folks, this is it, man. And this is why I can tell you, I laugh when people call me a grifter. I laugh my ass off because this is my message. Yeah, we're in a fucked up situation, and there is no sunshine and bunnies. We're going to have hard choices going forward. So you better get out and vote, or those hard choices become disastrous. And it's not a matter of rolling up your sleeves and working anymore. It's watching our government fail. You literally have to vote to prevent the shitstorm from being so bad. That's not a sexy message, people. Not really what people want to hear, but goddamn it, it's the truth. So these people that you know, I'm just going to start blocking them. Every time I put a post up, oh, they're not going to let us vote. There'll never be another election. Oh, bullshit. You know, they are spending a fortune gerrymandering. They're bringing in professional law firms to do nothing but gerrymander right now, preparing for the election. They are looking at every district. You know, folks, I keep telling people this, and I'm going to tell you one more time. I am the proverbial blue dot in a red sea. My district is very, very red. I have never waited to vote. Not once have I stood in a line. Never. I literally walk in, I hand the guy my ID, he scans it, he hands me a ballot, I walk over to the machine. Somebody escorts me to a machine because there's always a machine open. Make sure I put my ballot in correctly. Boop, 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 boop. Make, because I always know ahead of time who I'm voting for. I don't sit there and hem and haw at the machine. I do my research before I walk in. I know who I'm voting for, so I just boop, 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 prints my ballot out. I walk it over to the second machine that counts my ballot, hand it to that guy. That guy feeds it in, and I'm done. Whole thing takes me 5 minutes, max. But you go to a Democratic district around here, and you will wait an hour. You will wait 2 hours. If it's a big election, you'll wait 4 hours just to vote. Folks, they don't need machines to flip votes and steal when it's that hard to vote in Democratic areas. Yeah, they're going to cheat. They always have, and they always will. But the only method for overcoming that is discipline on our part. It's showing up and voting no matter what. And once we get power back, we can change it all, especially on the local level. That's it. That's my big grift. A lot of fucking work just to prevent disaster. Woo! I love you folks. I really do. That's what I've got for you today. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Thank you for all the support. I'm telling you, I am incredibly grateful. I could not do this full time without you. I simply could not. You literally make this possible. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.